segment, we're talking about lessons from the military for managers. So you've led teams in high stress, high stakes environments. What military principles translate best into business leadership?
See, in the military, by the ranks which we are given,
Right.
that assures us that I'm a commander of certain troops.
True.
But it is more important to be a leader than being a commander. There's a difference between commander and leader.
True.
Commander is authority given by the government.
Right.
Leader is that person is following you because you are you.
True.
That person is following Rajiv Ghosh
Right.
because he likes the leadership qualities of Rajiv Ghosh, not because Colonel Rajiv Ghosh is his company commander or battalion commander.
Right.
So there are two things going parallelly.
Right.
Firstly, the official capacity, and secondly, the leadership.
Right.
Now, that man is following me into battle. He's ready to give his life.
True.
So that at that point of time, it is the leader who matters.
Right.
It is not the commander who matters. Like, I've been fortunate enough that my unit was there in Kargil War. So as a youngster, as a young officer, I participated in Kargil War.
Wow.
So I saw that men will follow you blindly if they love you and respect you as a leader.
True.
And how that respect you command is when you spend more time with them, when you rub shoulders with them, when you train together with them,
Right.
when they have that faith in you that yes, this guy is good, he can lead us to battle. His mental, see, I belong to the Jat regiment.
Right.
Physically, as a Bengali, you cannot be stronger than the Jats. They are very strong.
Okay.
Physically, they are much stronger than anybody else. And troops are much stronger than the officers, much stronger physically.
Right.
They can run faster, they can carry more load, they can at times fire better.
Right.
But
Interesting.
what you have upper edge is that you are an officer, you can think more resiliently than them. Your IQ is more than them. You can lead them in hard times, you can motivate them in hard times.
Right.
And you also have to be physically capable. It is not that, yes, he may be running, 1 kilometer in 3 minutes, but then you have to run that 1 kilometer in at least 3.5 minutes.
Right. At least, yes.
At least 3.5 minutes. 3.5 is a very, very good example, but
Yes.
say 4.5, 5 minutes. So then they start respecting you. So that is why we have a lot of trainings together, games together, exercises together. You move around together, you eat together, you share your family information together. You are in.
You become a family by yourself.
Yes. So that is what happens in the army, but which is not possible in corporate.
Right.
Because it is 9 to 5, then everything has got cost attached to it.
True.
But yes, like a lot of corporates now have that team building sessions, like off-site visits,
Right.
casual conversations.
Right.
This is how you get more associated with your team. And
True.
as a manager, as a senior leader in the corporate, you must have that empathy,
True.
Recently in news, there was some employee lost his father, and he wrote to his manager that I've lost my father, and manager did not have any empathy or compassion.
Right. Right.
That is, any organization will not.
It's a terrible
It
scenario.
cannot function.
True. True. True.
So that empathy, that feeling of oneness, that is what will motivate these young people or any employee.
Right.
Okay, yes, the organization cares for me, I will give back to the organization.
True.
He will give his life for you if he knows that the organization cares for me.
True. True.
That is what is required. That takes time. Good organizations have understood this. They have started doing it,
Right.
started caring for the employees.
Right.
But there are some organizations who are cutting corners.
True. True. True.
But I don't think so that should happen.
True. So, what's your take on that? Military principles implementation in the corporate field.
Around 15 years back, I still interact with him, Major General Karnik, who actually played an important role in the process of administrative process of the military. And he
Right.
told me something very important, and my dad also used to tell me this. What Rajiv mentioned, that in management term we call it an emotional connect.
Right.
There is one part of it is the transaction, the work part of it. This transactional part of it can only happen if there is an emotional connect. And that's the reason that globally, if you see the research that has been done now, is that organizations were earlier spending millions of dollars in building teams,
Right.
but without a connect, without going into rapport building between people and creating those platforms where they can connect with each other, it is impossible. Because and that's the reason I earlier mentioned that sociology, psychology, all this also play a very vital role in evolving people, uh, and how they work.
Right.
The culture of Germany when it comes to engagement is very different than it is in India, and it is completely different in Southeast Asia. So, understanding of the history and culture of the people play a very important role, and why military or the defense forces kind of are able to perform what they're expected
Mhm.
is primarily because they have been able to bond humans, and where their mind and what they have to translate into action is happening in a very seamless way. Otherwise, it will become a dysfunctional kind of things.
True. True.
If you see why some organizations grow very fast, it is how they have been able to connect the people. Many of the startups, what problem they are facing, from my experience with some of them that I have interacted with, is they have a good idea, but they cannot execute it. And why? What is the problem in the core problem in execution? It is the ability to work together.
Right.
So
True.
this is what it is, a very, very vital thing. In fact, I believe that uh, Israel is IDF, and whether you take Singapore, where it's mandatory to give a certain number of years to the military to serve. What it has done, and I am of the belief that India should have those kind of things, why? Because we are a very culturally diverse kind of a country. We have people who speak different languages. We come from very different economical and social background. So how do you bring people together and make them more conscious about a direction and align their mind?
Right.
It is only through when at a very young age. And why army is successful is because at the age of 16, 17, 18, you are much more moldable. You
Very
absorb.
true. Very true.
Leadership cannot be developed at the age of 50, 55.
True. True.
And the term leader, Rajiv pointed out, it's not a power that is being given to you. It's a power that the people give to you or they don't give to you.
True.
You can be CEO of a company, but if people are not respecting you, your business is still going to run.
Right.
You will still be able to, but you will not be able to take the company to its potential level.
True. True.
So that's
Interesting. Interesting. So I think you've pretty much covered it very well. So we can implement the strategies, but in different formats.
Yes, people will have
It,
to think very innovatively. And
True.
if I can just take a minute,
Yes.
15 years back, when I started going deeper into why some teams are dysfunctional, or they are not able to perform the way,
Right.
and that's the biggest problem. If
Right.
you look at, you go and talk to any CHRO or CEO, they would say managing the people part of the business is the biggest problem, because I know very well how to run the business.
True.
In any case, I'm running the business.
True.
So what is the people part of the problem? The people part of the problem is to make your workforce aligned and to move in a certain direction.
Right.
And that is falling over a period of time because of example that Rajiv just now gave, because of lack of empathy, because of lack of connect
Right.
with your own people. See, if we have to work together for 8 or 9 hours a day, the minimum expectation that any human would have is that I would know something about you.
Right.
And the problem is that we don't know anything about each other. So if we don't know much about each other and we are expecting somebody to perform for us, I think that itself is a wrong expectation, because you are not allowing authenticity at the work, and the person to be who he is
Yes.
or she is. and accept the person as a whole person, as we say it in the psychology.
True.
And in psychology, there is another organizational psychology. There is another term that is used called humans as machines.
Humans as
As
machines.
machines.
Okay.
So humans are actually not machines, and they will always remain superior to machines.
Right.
Is because they have emotions,
True.
and emotions can or creativity. They will always bring new ideas, and people will be able to move in that.
Right.
So when I started doing my PhD, I realized that the most cost-effective way is to bring in sports, which army uses a lot
Absolutely.
to connect people.
True.
And companies don't have to make big time investment in that. You learn the best when you are playing together, you are eating together,
Right.
and they would be able to connect. They would be able to realize something about other. They would begin to appreciate the other person who they are working with.
Absolutely.
That probably will kind of mitigate the problem, if not solve it completely.
True. True. Very, very nicely said, sir. So when we talk of military, trust, discipline, team cohesion, I think it comes along with it. Now, for the sake of speculation, let's say that in early on in their careers, if, like you suggested, if the general population was supposed to attend military at least for a year or two, what is your speculation? How would the corporate India be, and how would the military be?
See, if our country doesn't have the tour of duty, but
Right.
those countries which have tour of duty, it is something which will give some focus, some direction to that youngster. A lot of youngsters join NCC
Yes.
and they don't join the army.
Right.
But they are always proud that I was in NCC. Like you only told that
I was a part
I
of
was
it
a
too.
part of NCC, and
Yes.
you must be still associating with that whatever you learned in the NCC.
True.
And you must have learned a lot of useful things, life
Right.
skills, a lot of good values. So that in case if that thing becomes compulsory and then these kids start coming to the corporate,
Right.
so there'll be a huge difference in the attitude.
True. Behavioral shift.
Behavioral shift,
Mental shift. Yes.
mental shift, behavioral shift, lot of look, getting up early in the morning, going for a run.
Right.
It is discipline. And being in the army, if I don't talk about discipline, I think I will not do justice to this.
Absolutely. Okay.
For everything in life, whether it is studies, whether it is personal conduct, whether it is business,
Right.
discipline is the center of gravity.
True. True. True.
Bagair discipline ke nothing can happen.
Right. Right.
In the army, when you put, say, on a flower bed, you're putting flowers also, no? Planting
Right.
flowers. That also is put with a lot of discipline, proper dressing, proper
Right.
distance.
Right.
So it matters a lot.
True.
So in life, when you dress up, you're combing your hair, polishing your shoes,
Right.
you're wearing properly creased pants, trousers. That matters. So if you moment you imbibe discipline into a person,
Right.
and that person can follow that discipline throughout his life, I think he's become a good citizen, he's become a good employee, he's become a good son, he's become a good father, he's become a good husband, he's become everything good.
True. True. True.
And the
Very
country will
rightly
be at a different direction altogether.
Absolutely. So, sir, from an HR lens, what do you think the perspective would be if all your hiring had to come, from people who've done 1 year or 2 year of tour of duty?
See, I'm a strong believer that that is what when it comes to technically it is called a conscription, because it's
Right.
you are mandated to serve in the defense forces
Right.
and kind of travel across the country. I think three things will change. One is the social outlook of the people.
Mm-hmm.
Second thing, I think the biggest learning that people get is by interacting with people, by
Right.
going through situations which they normally don't encounter every day.
Sure.
So that will bring a richness of the experience. And the third thing that will do is what Rajiv mentioned, the discipline part of it.
Right.
So this social skills, discipline, and the exposure together has the capacity to transform our country.
Right.
And I would say that, very unfortunately though, a lot of HR people I come across, they feel that people like Rajiv, who has moved out of the defense and joined the corporate,
Right.
they have this myopic vision is that they can only perform a limited kind of a role because of the background in military. They will not be able to understand a lot of other things, which
Right. Right.
I feel it's just the other way around. I think if your foundations are strong, no, every 5 years, see, the management concepts are changing, the domain expertise are changing,
True.
the way the economic planning has to be done is changing. So those skills or those can be kind of taught to you. You
Right.
can be educated about that, and you need to refresh those things
True.
over a period of time. What cannot be changed is the foundation that you have in terms of your social skills, in terms of your ability to kind of work with people.
Right.
They cannot be kind of imparted. I don't think, coming from an L&D background, that I have come across a situation where organization has been able to make drastic change to people skills
Right.
among its manager just by training them. So you need to have this kind of the basic skills built at a foundational level, and then brought. And that's the reason I am a very strong believer that India should have, let's make uh, NCC a compulsory thing for the graduation period or
Right.
engineering or whatever,
Right.
from 10th onwards and all. And I think children would love that,
True.
because right now the biggest problem, see, there is no platform to know about your history, your culture. So where do the youngsters go
Right.
and educate themselves on those things?
Right.
They
Yeah.
want to play sports, but there is a limitation in that as well.
True.
So I think as you asked me, that do I feel that yes, companies, I think companies would definitely recruit.
True.
It would solve a lot of their problem.
True.
And I think, and since we are talking about it, I also feel that companies now also should recruit more people who have served in the defense forces,
Defense.
which is not happening.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I have a point here to make, sir. So in military, normally the sense of perception is authoritative, right? Because the leader or the commander gives orders, and soldiers have to follow the orders, right? But in the corporate sector, it does not really work like that. It's not authoritative. That's where the empathy mix comes in and all of that. So how do you think that the people coming out from an authoritative sense of leadership into a corporate sector, do you think the settling in would be difficult or easy, or how would that be?
No, what I personally felt is, the system of functioning of the corporate and the armed forces is different.
Right.
Armed forces may, as a boss, you give an order and it is followed in
Right.
letter and spirit, no questions asked.
No questions asked. True.
But in the corporate, it doesn't happen. You have to push people.
Right.
You have to ensure that it is happening. You have to motivate people.
Right.
But it's okay, you have to change your way of thinking.
Right.
But yes, if you are a person who can motivate people, who can train your team,
Mhm.
even in the corporate, you can imbibe these things.
True.
But then for that, you have to be a leader of that caliber.
Right. True. Very
You just
rightly
cannot be a 9 to 5 boss.
said. Right. True.
You have to understand that person. You have to feel empathetic towards it. So, for example, an employee comes to you, he said, today I have to go 1 hour early.
Right.
Somebody's auntie is coming, somebody's uncle is coming.
Right.
Is to go to the railway station. So you will say, no, 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 you have to punch at 6 o'clock and go. Then he will never have that trust for you. You say, okay, boy, you go.
Right.
Then he will have that special, affection for you. This guy understands my
Right.
requirement. Tomorrow, when you give him some work extra, he will do it happily.
True. True.
So it is how you manage your team.
Right. Right. So what's your take? So if you have people coming in from order sense of things to enabling them, how difficult or easy will it be for you?
I'll put it this way, that my experience of working with people from the defense background is that they are much more structured,
Right.
they are much more well planned,
Right.
and that they are much more clear about giving instructions.
Right. I agree.
See, I work with certain Israeli startups, and till that time, I had this impression that military, like what Rajiv said, that instructions are given and they are followed. But you just look at the process before the military gives that instruction. There are some decisions taken based on very detailed information,
Right.
and therefore the levels below, they get complete clarity of what is expected.
Right.
And there is also a parallel communication mechanism whereby whatever tactical changes that you have to do, that feedback is very well received by the officer. In fact, Rajiv would be able to talk better on that. During Kargil, when we lost some soldiers at the initial phase, when the Pakistani intruders had kind of reached those hilltops and all,
Right.
we got the feedback, and then the military improvised and made those corrections.
Right.
So that is how it happens. But I think what problem the managers has today, and why this confusion and issue of motivation comes, is that you yourself have to know your subject very well to give direction and to help them with what is expected out of them.
Right.
Managers many time, particularly in Indian context, they do not want to reveal too much because they want to keep something to themselves.
Right.
And that's power, kind of, in a way. And second thing is that I also have seen a lot of people, managers, who actually do not know the subject that well, where they can tell their subordinates, this is how you see. Everybody at one point of time or the other needs to be kind of hand-holded
Right.
and taught that at least once or twice, then only they would be able to do
So
it.
you have to walk the talk.
Yes.
True.
So if I don't know how a module is to be designed, then I will never be able to guide someone.
Absolutely.
So, and I think this is where people with defense background or specialists have got a huge can make a difference,
Right.
especially in a context where the world is talking about a T-shaped talent. That is, you are a specialist in one area, that is the vertical part of the T, and the horizontal part of the T is that where you understand what are the related domains that come into play in your business or your vertical.
Right. Right.
So that is why this law, psychology, and all other aspects has become important, because that is the horizontal part of the T, and the vertical part of the T is your core HR process.
Absolutely.
I just wanted to add up on this.
Sure.
You said in the armed forces you give authoritative orders.
Right.
The orders are authoritative, but they are not in isolation.
Okay.
What I want to tell you is, like, if I am giving some order to my command that we have to carry out the task and capture this hill,
Right.
but that is not in isolation. They are aware ki why are we going to capture that? Because there is a continuous information flow.
Yes.
Like Anirban brought out that in the corporate, people don't want to share.
Right.
But in the army, we have a very open system of communication.
True.
Though it is very hierarchical, but every information flows to everybody.
Right. Right.
That is, it is not that like, where are the nuclear, whatever is need to know basis, it flows to everybody.
True.
So, need to know basis, it flows to everybody. So, a person of his level, for every person at his level of command, knows about what he is supposed to know.
Right.
And he informs all people under his command of things what they are supposed to know.
Right.
So, no orders come in isolation.
So there's a lot
So
of
there is
clarity.
not surprise ki, suddenly they wake you up from sleep and say ki, go and capture this.
Right.
You are aware why are you capturing this? What is happening? What is the entire story? What is happening in that area?
Right.
So you are aware.
So there is context and there's
Yes,
clarity.
yes.
Correct.
True.
I think this macro clarity is very, very important, which whenever I have interacted with military officers, they are they do it in a very effective way,
Right.
which lot of corporate leaders are not able to do or they don't want to do.
Right. Right. True.
That's
when the
that's
discipline
discipline
part comes
comes
again. Very great. Rightly said. Thank you once again for sharing your inputs in this segment as well. Thank you.